Good morning, Columbus. As the city slowly wakes up, a quiet stillness hangs in the air, hinting at the changes to come. It's December 5th, 2025, and a thick, gray blanket of clouds has settled over the city, stretching from horizon to horizon. The bright, crisp sunshine that usually greets us is nowhere to be found this morning. Instead, a heavy sky looms overhead, almost as if it's holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. This isn't just a random cloudy day, it's the leading edge of a major weather change, a signal that the atmosphere is shifting gears. A powerful cold front is making its entrance, and these thick, rolling clouds are its unmistakable calling card, announcing the arrival of colder days ahead. The air is damp and chilly, with a persistent moisture that clings to your skin, but it hasn't turned truly cold just yet. People move a little faster, hands tucked in pockets, bracing for what's coming. A steady breeze from the northwest is picking up, pushing a dome of colder, denser air into our region. You can see it in the way the trees sway and the flags snap in the wind. Think of these clouds as the welcome mat for winter's next big push, a sign that the season is about to shift in a big way. The skyline appears hazy, almost blurred by the moisture in the air. People are already bundled up in scarves and coats, sensing the shift even before the real cold arrives. The humidity is higher than you'd expect for a cold day, thanks to warmer air being forced upward by the advancing front. You can see it in the dew on windows and the mist that lingers in the air. This extra moisture forms the vast, unbroken sheet of clouds we see now, stretching endlessly above the city and blocking out the sun. As the day goes on, the gray will likely get thicker and darker before it finally breaks, making the city feel even more enclosed and quiet. When you look up at that seamless, featureless sky, you're witnessing the very start of a major weather event for Columbus, a transition that will shape the days ahead. So get ready. Winter is about to make itself known in a big way. Whether you love the cold or dread it, there's no mistaking the signs. The season is changing, and Columbus is about to feel the full force of winter's arrival. So, what exactly is a cold front? Let's break it down in simple terms, because understanding this weather phenomenon can help you make sense of those sudden changes in temperature and sky conditions. Imagine the atmosphere as a giant stage where two massive bubbles of air, one warm and light, the other cold and heavy, are about to meet. These air masses are like invisible giants, each with their own unique characteristics and origins. A cold front is the leading edge of that cold, dense air mass as it moves forward, almost like a bulldozer pushing into new territory. It acts like a wedge, sliding underneath the lighter, warmer air and forcing it to rise up and over the advancing cold air. This upward motion is what often leads to dramatic cloud formations and sometimes even storms. Think of it like pouring cold syrup into a bowl of warm oil. The syrup, being denser, sinks to the bottom and pushes the oil up. The same thing happens in our atmosphere, just on a much larger scale. The cold air mass, often originating from places like northern Canada, hugs the ground and creates a sharp boundary called the front. This boundary is where the real action happens. Here in Columbus, that boundary is moving over us today, bringing noticeable changes to our local weather. You can't see the air itself, but you can definitely feel its arrival. The wind shifts direction, often swinging from the south to the northwest, and you might notice a sudden chill in the air. This new wind is actually pulling cold air directly from its source, sweeping away the warmth that was here before. Meteorologists pay close attention to wind direction and speed because it reveals which type of air mass is moving in and how quickly the front is advancing. These fronts aren't small, they can stretch for hundreds or even thousands of miles, impacting entire regions and sometimes changing the weather for days. The cold front over Ohio today is just one part of a much larger system sweeping across the country, connecting us to weather changes happening far away. So it's not just getting colder by chance, it's a physical invasion of a new colder air mass, pushing out the old and bringing in a whole new set of weather conditions. That's why you might see sudden rain, snow, or even thunderstorms as the front passes. These dramatic changes are all part of the process. The cold front is truly the engine behind today's transformation. driving the shift from calm and mild to brisk and unsettled weather. Let's connect the cold front to the cloudy skies. Warm air holds more moisture than cold air. As the cold front moves in, it forces the warm, moist air to rise quickly. Rising air cools, reaching the dew point, and water vapor condenses into tiny droplets, forming clouds. The rapid lifting along a cold front creates thick, extensive cloud cover. As the front gets closer, clouds get lower and thicker, forming a solid sheet of stratus, or stratocumulus. The gray blanket we see is a direct result of this process. It's physics in action, signaling the dramatic change in temperature ahead. The most noticeable effect of a cold front is the sudden drop in temperature. This isn't a slow cool down. A strong cold front can make temperatures plummet in just a few hours. You might leave for work at 45 degrees and come home to 25. The reason? You're moving from one air mass to another, mild air out, cold Canadian air in. It's like opening a freezer on a warm day. The cold rushes in immediately. The wind shifts to the northwest and becomes gustier, creating a biting wind chill. Not only does the thermometer drop, but it feels even colder. By tonight, Columbus will be locked in a much colder pattern. This is the classic December cold front package. For longtime Columbus residents, a December cold front is a familiar multi-sensory event. It's not just a change in temperature, it's a shift you can feel, see, and even smell. The city seems to brace itself as the first hints of winter settle in. The day starts under a heavy gray sky, making everything feel a bit gloomy. The sun disappears behind thick clouds, casting a muted light over the city. Even the most colorful houses look subdued, as if the whole neighborhood is waiting for something to happen. The air smells damp and earthy, hinting at rain or snow. Fallen leaves stick to the wet sidewalks, and puddles reflect the dull sky above. There's a sense of anticipation in the air, as if the weather is about to turn. As the front moves through, the wind becomes a major character, howling downtown, rattling windows in the suburbs. It whistles through alleyways and shakes loose branches from the trees, making its presence impossible to ignore. It's a pushy, persistent wind that makes you pull your collar up and brace yourself. People walk a little faster, huddling into their coats, faces turned away from the gusts. Even the most seasoned locals feel its bite. Before the front, the air feels damp. After, it's drier and sharper, a biting cold that stings your cheeks. You can see your breath in the morning, little clouds of vapor hanging in the crisp air. Precipitation often changes from drizzle to swirling flurries as the colder, drier air arrives. Raindrops turn to tiny snowflakes, swirling in the wind and dusting the streets in white. It's a clear sign that winter is here to stay. Locals know it's time to prepare. Check the furnace, grab the heavy coats, and get ready to scrape ice off the car. Gloves and hats come out of storage, and everyone double-checks their windows for drafts. The weather becomes the talk of the town. Everyone knows what's coming. Conversations at coffee shops and bus stops turn to forecasts and memories of past winters, as neighbors share tips for staying warm. It's the unofficial start of deep winter in central Ohio. Lawns and rooftops get their first dusting of snow, and the landscape transforms almost overnight. The city shifts together, bracing for the cold. Winter's arrival is unmistakable, and Columbus residents know how to face it, together, with a sense of shared experience and quiet resilience. Clouds are more than just weather signals, they're fascinating. A single cumulus cloud can weigh over 1 million pounds, yet floats because its weight is spread out and the droplets are tiny. Clouds help regulate Earth's temperature. Their tops reflect sunlight, cooling the planet while their bottoms trap heat, keeping nights warmer. The thick cloud layer over Columbus is acting like a blanket right now. Some clouds, like noctilucent clouds, form 50 miles up and glow after sunset. On other planets, clouds can be made of sulfuric acid or ammonia ice. The clouds over Ohio are just one example in a vast cosmic variety. Cold weather brings its own set of interesting truths. Too cold to snow is partly true. Extremely cold air is dry and can't hold much moisture, so big snowfalls happen near freezing. Not all snowflakes are unique. Scientists have found identical ones, though it's rare. All snowflakes are six-sided thanks to the way water molecules freeze. Sound travels farther in cold, dense air, but fresh snow absorbs sound, making winter nights eerily quiet. Wind chill isn't the actual temperature. It measures how quickly wind strips heat from your skin. Only living things feel wind chill. Objects cool only to the air temperature. These facts help explain why winter feels, and sounds, so different. Understanding them makes the season a little more fascinating. With the cold front moving in, staying warm is all about preparation. Dress in layers, a moisture-wicking base, an insulating middle, and a windproof, water-resistant outer shell. Avoid cotton as a base layer. It stays wet and makes you colder. Adjust your middle layer for activity level. Thicker for standing still, lighter for moving. The outer shell blocks wind and moisture, keeping you dry and warm. Don't forget your head, hands, and feet. Wear a hat, insulated gloves, warm socks, and waterproof boots. These simple steps make a world of difference as winter's chill settles in. Stay safe and comfortable as the temperature drops. The gray skies, gusty winds, and falling temperatures are all connected. A cold front is sweeping through Columbus. Understanding cold fronts helps you anticipate changes, clouds, wind shifts, and temperature drops. This knowledge lets you plan your day, dress right, and stay safe. Weather connects us all. It shapes our routines and conversations. Paying attention to the forecast helps everyone, from farmers to families. As the cold front passes, notice the changes, the wind, the chill, maybe even a few snow flurries. By staying weather aware, you can appreciate nature's power and make smart choices. Winter is here in the Buckeye State, and now you know exactly why.